Scott Holliday here, and welcome to the brand new Plus 2 Wrestling. Yes, that's right, Scott Holliday here has his own YouTube channel. I'm going to use this to tell you where I'm going to be in the world of professional wrestling, talk to you about professional wrestling, and talk about holidays, probably. So let's get started, and let's plug in. We start with High Tension Wrestling, where I'm on the call along with the wonderful Maestro for High Tension Halloween. There you will see Ricky Price take on Jet Jagori in each of their debut matches for High Tension Wrestling as they battle for the #1 contendership for Skyros' television title. You'll also see some other great matches such as Stan Styles, the leader of the Creamy World Order, taking on Al De Niro, and the Goon Busters taking on the Goons. That is Kit Raff and Coach Raff taking on Killian McMurphy and Mr. 500 himself, Big Dust. You can also hear me on the call along with Kings Road for CZW's Tournament of Death, an 8-competitor death match tournament featuring the likes of the Necro Butcher, Mickey Knuckles, Bobby Beverly, Big Effin' Joe, and more in a series of sadistic matches using ultraviolet light tubes, barbed wire, and of course some weapons brought by the CZW faithful. If you'd like to see Tournament of Death, head on over to czwstudios.com. And for our final plug, a bit of a strange one, a bit of a different one, but definitely worth a look. Head on over to the Party of One podcast, where I take on Jeff Stormer and Riley Hopkins in a triple threat match for the Party of One championship in a triple threat hack of a game called Links Between. You can check out episode 345. It's actually the anniversary episode of the Party of One podcast. So head over to partyofonepodcast.com and give that one a listen. You will not be disappointed. So what do I want to talk about here in our first episode of Plus 2 Wrestling? On my first Scott's Soapbox, I want to talk about the newly retired 24/7 Championship. Yes, the 24/7 Championship was retired when Nikki Cross almost threw it in the trash. She didn't quite land it, but she attempted to throw it in a trash can. And we all know if a title is thrown into a trash can, it is retired. That's what happened to the WCW Television Championship, and that's what happened to the WWF Women's Championship. Which means, fun fact, every title in the WWE, WWF that Alundra Blaze ever held was thrown in the trash. Isn't that a fun fact? So what happened? Nikki Cross won the title against Dana Brooke in a match. And I think what the messaging was here is Nikki Cross is a serious wrestler. Nikki Ash was a joke. But Nikki Cross is a serious performer, a threat, a force to be reckoned with. And she doesn't want some sort of joke title, so she threw it away. This was supposed to be kind of a crown moment of Nikki Cross as a person to be taken seriously because Nikki Cross won that title and threw it away. But I think they missed the point in this. It really didn't do anything with that title to have Nikki Cross, who's now serious, win that title. Because I'm not sure if you remembered this, but Nikki ASH already won the 24/7 title. As a matter of fact, this reign of the 24/7 title, it's her 11th reign with the 24/7 title. She actually is the 4th winningest person with the 24/7 title. Her 11th reign makes her 4th in line behind R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, and Dana Brooke. Yeah, Nikki Ash has more reigns with the 24/7 title than Drake Maverick. So her winning this title again just to throw it away, I don't think it has the impact it could have had. Because the idea that she's throwing away a joke title that she had already fought so hard to win in the past lacks that oomph of I'm not a joke anymore, because you were a joke so many other times with that title. I just think it lacks what they were intending to do with that title. Which really begs the question, what were they intending to do with the 24/7 title? The 24/7 title started when Mick Foley left it in the middle of a ring and said whoever picks it up is the champion. And it was picked up by Titus O'Neil, making him champion for just finding the title, which is exactly how Midian won the European title and Hacksaw Jim Duggan won the WCW TV title. That really was a joke title. I should do a whole video on the WCW TV title, but I digress. Why did this title get introduced? Mick Foley has gone on record that he hated the 24/7 rule with the hardcore title because it made the hardcore title a joke. It used to be something that you fought for, that you bled for. Mick Foley was the first hardcore title champion, and I remember the wars he had with like the Big Boss Man in ladder matches. And to degrade that title with this 24/7 stipulation turned it into a joke. So why was Mick Foley now creating this new joke title that we know he didn't like? Well, it's because the third hour of Raw is when things get dark. Do you remember that? There was a whole time during Monday Night Raw where once it hit 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, the lights got dimmer and it was darker. So people believed, oh, this is the return of the hardcore division. We are going to see hardcore wrestling again. But the 24/7 title was never the hardcore championship. Now, granted, a lot of the things that are tied with the hardcore championship were mirrored with the 24/7 championship. The hardcore title was defended at like a carnival and at an arcade, and the 24/7 title was defended in an airplane, in an Old Spice commercial. Yeah, that's canon for that title, the Old Spice commercials. And also on Drake Maverick's honeymoon. And I bring up Drake Maverick again because he's my favorite 24/7 champion. He's the fightingest 24/7 champion. And the honeymoon of Drake Maverick shows the glaring issue with the 24/7 title. This is the only time I can remember that the champion kicked out of an attempted pin. There's a moment during the honeymoon where Drake Maverick kicks out and he jumps out and goes, "That was two, right? Only two?" Every other time we saw the 24/7 title change hands, it was a schoolboy roll-up, and then it was over. When we had the hardcore title, we at least got to see fun stuff of people getting hit with trash cans, or thrown in the Mississippi River, or sneaking up on them while they're sleeping. Everything with the 24/7 title was a simple schoolboy roll-up. And that's so damaging to every single person in the 24/7 division, because they can't kick out of a schoolboy roll-up when they're at 100%. They've received no damage. That's so damaging to them as a performer, because how am I supposed to believe that this person can go out and have a 10, 15-minute match, battle for the Intercontinental Championship or the Tag Team Championships, when I know full well that a schoolboy roll-up will end this match because they couldn't kick out when it happened on a baseball field? This was so damaging to every wrestler involved because it made them look like they couldn't wrestle because they're never shown fighting for this title. And if the title is not a thing worth fighting for, then why are you defending it? Why do you even want this title? This is one of the most damaging titles ever to exist. It ruined some people. If you don't believe me, think about EC3. EC3, granted, there are some other problems with EC3, but EC3 got called up from NXT and had a feud with Dean Ambrose. And granted, that fell apart because they were afraid Dean Ambrose was going to get over more by losing to EC3. But EC3 got relegated to being a guy holding a red Solo cup and chasing the 24/7 title because he held a cup in a barbecue segment for 4th of July, I think. They took EC3, just this big ball of charisma and swagger, and turned him into a sad frat boy. Why? They had no plans for it. It was just a thing for him to do, to have people on television to kill 10 minutes of television time, if even. Think about Drew Gulak. Remember when Drew Gulak was feuding with Daniel Bryan? And his whole idea was he was tactical. Drew Gulak looked at Daniel Bryan, and while you may not have considered Drew Gulak a threat or a contender at that time, he was able to sit back and spot holes in Daniel Bryan's game and take Daniel Bryan to the limit. And then he became friends with Daniel. They were able to push each other to become better and better because Drew Gulak, along with being a very talented wrestler, was a smart wrestler. He watched tape. He looked for mistakes and he seized upon them. And then he started hitting people with schoolboy roll-ups. And then he couldn't kick out of one. Why couldn't Drew do something with this title? If the whole point of Drew Gulak's character that you built was he saw the flaws in other wrestlers, why didn't he have a counter to the schoolboy roll-up? That could have been a fantastic story for him. Like, I'm the only person that knows how to keep this title without losing this title because I'm so smart. But no, he just became another jobber. Also, it ruined the friendship between Mojo Rawley and Ron Gronkowski. That's just unforgivable. I also mispronounced unforgivable, but I don't want to do another take. It did help some people. I'm going to be honest with you, it's not a long list, but it did help some people. One of those people is probably Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny held the title for a while, and he actually performed with it on Saturday Night Live, giving the WWE a lot of exposure right before WrestleMania. It was really a win for everyone involved. You had Bad Bunny, a fantastic rapper and huge celebrity and huge personality, going on one of the largest television shows, one of the staples of culture in SNL, and showing off that he was part of the WWE and proudly holding this title, a title that he cared about. How did Bad Bunny lose the title? He relinquished it to R-Truth. Because he didn't want it. Because it was meaningless. You actually had something that was sparking a flame of interest. People saw it on national television. And then Bad Bunny was like, I don't want this. He didn't even get rolled up because they didn't want to have Bad Bunny lose before WrestleMania. That's how little the 24/7 title mattered to the WWE. Because even when it was working, they still spat on it. Now, I will say this though. R-Truth probably is the only person to truly benefit from the 24/7 title. If there was no 24/7 title, I don't know what R-Truth would be doing. But R-Truth didn't even know what the 24/7 title was. He always called it the 24/7 7-Eleven European something something title. It was too long for me to remember all of it. But The idea that the person who held it the most didn't respect it enough to know the actual name shows the problem with this title. I mean, I think it would have made more sense to have R-Truth be the only person who cared about it. Have these situations where R-Truth was the 24/7 champion, and then going in and having matches with larger superstars, larger in terms of popularity. You know, your Sheamuses, your Drew McIntyres, your Kevin Owens, and have them kind of be in this problem of, well, if I beat R-Truth, I have to be the 24/7 champion. Granted, that doesn't build any prestige on the title, but if you're going to make the title a joke, make the joke funny at least. Have it mean something, even if it means something bad. It's better for it to mean something bad than for it to mean nothing. And they had so many opportunities with this title that they just threw away. Here's a great example. Do you remember when Corey Graves won the 24/7 title? I was thrilled because it meant that Corey Graves could take a bump. Because for the longest time, he was a no-touch. He was injured and he lost his career and had to step away from the ring, trade his headlocks for a headset. And to see him get to win a title for a moment made me happy. And then he lost it to Byron Saxton. And this was right around WrestleMania season. And I thought, are they going to do it? Are they going to give these two wrestlers who were never given a chance to shine and show what they can do on a major stage a shot to show what they have in them? Are we going to see Byron Saxton versus Corey Graves? I would have loved to have seen that. But no. No, we didn't. We didn't do anything interesting with this title. The fact that the 24/7 title never changed hands in a Royal Rumble is a crime. The real crime of the 24/7 title is they never used it the way it was clearly designed to be used, and that's on social media. Short, tiny, shareable videos. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, that's where the 24/7 title belonged. Not trying to fill a few moments in a 3-hour episode of Raw. The fact that they never used that as a way to get you to follow their socials is a huge misstep by the WWE. The fact that the 24/7 title never existed at the same time as Tout, that seems like a match made in heaven. But instead, they just reuse the same ideas over and over again. And this idea has worked before. If you have some time after you're done with this video, be sure to like it, by the way. Check out Chuck Taylor's 24/7 title. Chuck Taylor created his own 24/7 hardcore title that I don't believe was ever actually a real title in Chikara like a lot of videos claim it to be. But all it was tiny videos that Chuck Taylor put up on social media to highlight all of his friends and other independent wrestlers, showing them being creative and remaining in the public eye when they were not on a show. That's what it should be, and Chuck Taylor did it perfectly. So perfectly that my old company, Camp Leapfrog, stole it with the fanny pack. We did the exact same thing.
From the bushes!
What the fuck?
Give it up! Give it up! Give it up!
I give up!
Give it up!
I give up!
And there's so many creative things you could do with a 24/7 title. Look at the Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Championship, a title that was won by a ladder, a dog, the title itself, Vince McMahon's star on the Walk of Fame. They never extended the idea of the 24/7 title anywhere near the creativity that they had with the Heavy Metalweight Championship. Heck, remember when Jervis had the Wrestle Circus Sideshow Championship and he lost it to R Squared Circle because he hit submit on a post, meaning that I was Wrestle Circus Sideshow champion for a while. That's true. That's a fact. Somebody fix my cage match. The point being that the 24/7 title is now retired, and it will go down in history as one of the most damaging, least explored, missed opportunity titles ever to exist. And honestly, I'm glad it's gone. In any case, I hope you have a wonderful week full of holidays, and I will see you next time here on Plus 2 Wrestling. Be sure to subscribe for more. Ring the bell, because that's what you're supposed to do. And I will see you next time.